Welcome to Cap Table LITE. Make a deal and keep your arms and legs. We're going to talk about one round of equity financing. We're going to talk about royalties in another tutorial. A quick overview. You can show the help or you can hide the help. You can talk about an investor or a shark or a VC. Let's keep it at investor. This spin button here will give you some interesting points. Spin around and read. Now let's go into the meat of the program. We are, by the way, in tab number 6, the red tab titled Cap Table LITE. So let's put in $1,000 investment and let's put in 1,000,000 shares. Let's do another $1,000 investment and let's put in another 1,000,000 shares. And let's do one more. We'll do a $500 investment for just 700 or 70,000 shares. Come over here and put a $500 investment for some options for 100,000. Now, in looking at this, we've only raised $2,500. It's quite possible that when you go in front of investors, they're going to say, come back to me when you've got about $25,000. So let's do what is known as a cash call. Notice it says cash call when we start spinning this number. And by the way, we can move these guys off to the side. So I'm going to spin in here until we get about $25,000. There we go. What's actually happened is we've raised $22,500 proportionately among the founders. We have a table further down that will show exactly who gets what out of this cash call. We have already dialed in an option pool of 20%. That's a little high. Let's make it 15%. And we have already an option pool nominal cost. Let's go to $300. Now, of course, along the yellow here, it shows that we've got ourselves an average price. And I could have also done a different price for this cash call. We could have done a weighted average, a max. Probably the max is a good one because, well, maybe not. Let's do weighted average because that'll kind of give us an average somewhere in between there. All right. So let's keep on going. Here is the $2,500 under the detailed founder valuation. Here's the cash call of another $22,500. And we now need some kind of a detailed founder valuation. We could just quickly put in what we estimate. Maybe we got a $600,000. Let's erase this and go back to the tab number 5, detailed founder valuation. Under A, we've got a lot of detailed talking about it. Here's some questions that you should be able to answer to support the valuation. And we, by the way, have more details down below on other methodologies, but we're just going to focus right now on our method. $25,000 in, maybe we got $50,000 worth of about $100,000 in a patent application. Maybe we got a trademark for $5,000. No, that's let's make it $10,000. Proprietary software about $100,000. The URL maybe a $5,000 website. Now these are the people we've got involved. This may not really be their salary, but this is what they might be worth market-wise. They could be a lot more if they've been successful with companies. It's some idea that you've got a talented management team. There we go. So we got a $590,000 detailed founder valuation based upon components. And of course in the blue you can change them. Let's go back to Cap Table LITE. There's that 590. And this is how it's broken down. Now, this line item here has to do with the other methodologies. Since we don't have any, we're seeing 0. In another tutorial, we will talk about the other methodologies and try to get an average. It's a good way to figure out what the investors might think. So here we have investor pre-money valuation. Let's be good and say we're worth about $500,000. They're never going to give you what you think you are. And we need 300,000, so I could just type in 300 and get 300,000 right away. 500 and 300 makes $800,000 post-money value. So here we've basically, even though you didn't know it, we've actually set the deal. Now, and it set the deal by virtue of this investor pre-money valuation. That's what drives the number of shares and the percentage ownership that the investors get. Now let's come on down here and take a look at these projections. In the red numbers here, I've already put some projections in to save time. You could do the same, enter them in yourself, or link to an Excel spread model. If we think we could sell the company for $2 million in year 4, it turns out it's 1.3 times the revenues, or 10 times its EBITDA. You know, this sounds a little rich, this sounds okay. See what happens if you move it one forward. Well, now, that looks a little better simply because people are basically paying for forward earnings and forward projections. So that's not actually too outrageous a price right here, assuming that you can make the $3 million. Now, let's keep on coming down here and actually look at what the deal is. Here we have an equity deal. We could utilize a combo if you need to enhance the returns and reduce the dilution. That will be in another tutorial. Right now, here's our $300,000. And by the way, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to set the number so I can read it again, because these will change through time. Shares issued, use the drop down. And here we have the price per share and pre-money valuation of 500, exit year 4, and then we have the investor total return 750. That generates, based upon his ownership, a 2.5 to 1 cash on cash multiple, or an internal rate of return of 25.72, and this earns the investor a 37.5% interest in your company. Is this a good deal or a bad deal? Well, it's probably not enough. In the next tutorial, we're going to show how to increase the returns and avoid dilution. So coming on down here, we're basically done. This is just a quick explanation of the offering. Here's the long-awaited capitalization table. And of course, you've got the investment, the shares, the price, post-money valuation, not post-money valuation, but simply the post-money ownership that the investor share is, and the exit value, the I multiple, and the 4-year internal rate of return. And it does this for, of course, the major components. Don't get freaked out when you see no investment units offered, because that has to do with buying shares using the FAST calculator. I mentioned that we had a cash call, and here's how the cash call gets divided up. You can see that a predominant amount goes into these $1,000 investments, and there's the total 25. They get more shares, and there's the ownership, and there's the adjusted value based upon the exit. Now we come down here and we have the investor pitch, or a elevator pitch. And we've got a whole bunch of different companies that we've written about, and you can select the one that comes closest to yours. And there's a software company, because we are in that business. We are known as Bruce and Quants. That's me, that's Bruce Bedeau, and my partner in this business. Now what we've done is, since we selected software, it will show up here in the dark gray. These are the components of a pitch that we've written. So we make Cap Table desktop software that teaches deal making to Shark Tank applicants and other entrepreneurs raising capital. We expect to sell hundreds of thousands of apps to your audience and entrepreneurs worldwide in their quest for capital. Now in this case, I've just made it equal, but in what's going to happen is you're going to see this, you're going to break the equal sign, no big deal, and you're going to try to write something similar. And when you do that, of course, it all comes together in this concatenated statement, paragraph. The last thing we want to go into is page 7, or tab 7, the executive sum light. Now here is a section that you have to write yourself, and you can do it right here. I would jump back to tab 5, detailed founder valuation, and refresh yourself about these talking points. They're very good and may help you when you're writing this. Now the rest of this is pretty simple. This is just a reproduction of that graph, the proposed offering, your capitalization table. The one thing you have to do is you have to come into this little section below, copy it, come over here, click on this, right click, say paste special, and then hit values, and then say OK. What that does is it allows you to take this, which is a formula, and put it up here, which is just pure text. And you can make this a little bit bigger, and you can see. And we can take out some of that, and you can change anything you want to. But remember, if you change this, and then you go back and change the numbers, you will have those numbers in here, and you will have to again paste it back up into here. So if you change the numbers, you have to redo this. Well, that just about does it. Thank you very much for seeing this tutorial on Shark Cap Table LITE.